Hello, my name is Javier Patino, and I am a Ph.D. student at Northwest University in Kirkland, Washington. And I will be studying organizational leadership with a concentration in business consulting. I wanted to take a moment to make this video to talk about why I decided to pursue a PhD and to talk about why I applied to Northwest University. And I wanted to talk about what I hope the future will look like for me upon completing this program. So why a PhD? A PhD is something I never really thought I would ever apply for or ever pursue. I really believed that completing a bachelor's degree was going to be, the most schooling that I ever did. My parents made a lot of sacrifices for my sisters and I to be able to attend college, and my parents really wanted me to be educated. So I thought the best way to kind of honor that sacrifice was to attend college. So I attended community college for a couple of years, and then I transferred to Fresno Pacific, where I finished off my bachelor's in business management in the summer of 2015. And so after completing the bachelor's, I thought I was done, and I immediately went to go work for a finance company. Kind of started, at the bottom and kind of hoped to work my way up. I was working there about a year, and then I got some information about a job opening at Fresno Pacific, and I thought, you know what, hey, let me take a shot in the dark and let me apply for this. I really thought I wasn't qualified for the position, but I interviewed for it, and I was lucky enough to be offered the job. So in the summer of 2016, I started working at Fresno Pacific as an academic supervisor for a Title V grant that worked specifically with first-generation students. And so my job was to mentor and guide a group of first-generation students through their first year at Fresno Pacific University. And so I myself am a first-generation student, and so I thought, what better way to kind of give back to the community that I serve, that I went to school at Fresno Pacific, and also students that looked like me or had similar backgrounds as me. So in working that, I realized that the way that I could be better at the job that I was doing was to kind of enhance my skills, to be better, to get more education. So working at Fresno Pacific University, I was given the opportunity to pursue a master's degree. So I enrolled into a master's program in organizational leadership. And so in the summer of 2019, I graduated with my master's in organizational leadership from Fresno Pacific as well. And so upon completing that master's degree, I was given the opportunity to teach a couple of courses in the School of Business, and I kind of really did fall in love with teaching and that influence and that positive effect that you have on someone when you teach them. That I decided that if I wanted to kind of continue the teaching route, that I knew I needed a PhD, and I figured I was kind of 2/3 of the way there. Why not challenge myself to kind of reach the highest level of education that I possibly can? So I began to do some research on some programs, and I stumbled upon Northwest University. And so ultimately, I knew that if I wanted to advance in my position or advance within the university, that I know that I needed a PhD, and I knew that a PhD would kind of be the ultimate reward for a lifetime of education, and so I decided to pursue it. And so working full-time at Fresno Pacific, I knew that it would be I knew it would be tougher to find a program that was a full residency program where you had to actually move to the school, live there, and do school every day. So I began to kind of research some programs online, kind of hybrid programs that had a residency component and mainly online. And that's how I stumbled upon Northwest University. So Northwest University is a Christian university, a private Christian university up in Kirkland, Washington, just kind of a little outside of Seattle, Washington. And I saw that they had a Center for Leadership Studies. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of pursue more the kind of the business route or the leadership route when it came to study, because I really do enjoy both of them. And this program was kind of a mix of those, and it was kind of the perfect blend. So it's, like I mentioned earlier, it's a PhD in organizational leadership with a business consulting concentration. And so did some research. I called, kind of spoke to a couple of people, spoke to the program director. They were able to just give me information. I checked out the website, and I just really liked what they had to offer. I really liked how the program was structured. So the program is an online program, but it's an online hybrid program. So 3 times a year for a week, I go to the campus and do an intensive residency week, followed by online periods. And I thought that was something that would allow me to continue to not only work full-time to support myself, but also an opportunity to go to school. It's also a 4-year program, which is something that was kind of intriguing as well, because there are programs that are a couple of years, more 5-6 years, so on and so forth. So I knew that I could get in and finish the program in the fastest way that I possibly could, and in a way where I can still maintain the lifestyle that I have. So I applied. I submitted an application, and I had an interview. And so I interviewed with the provost of the university, the director of the program, and a couple of faculty members. They asked me just kind of a series of questions of why I was pursuing a PhD, what kind of support I had, and I did mention that I did have the full support of my parents, the full support of my colleagues and coworkers, and so I knew that I had the intellectual capacity to pursue a program like this. But more so, what was more important for me is I knew that I had my family to kind of back me up, and I had my friends, and I had colleagues and coworkers who were kind of pushing and supporting this. And so a couple of days after the application, or the interview, I received an email that I was accepted, and it was a kind of a surreal feeling to know that they thought that I was a good candidate for this, and so I accepted, and here we are today. And so this program begins on July 6th, and because of COVID and the pandemic that's going on in the world, the residency week was actually canceled, or kind of canceled, rescheduled. Hopefully, tentatively, maybe in the fall, we might have an opportunity to meet. So this first week will be just an online residency portion. I will be taking 2 classes to begin with. The first class will be Advanced Leadership Theory, and the second class will be Critical Inquiry. So the way the program is structured is you spend your first about 2 years doing classes, and kind of in the mix of those classes, you start taking some dissertation courses, some research courses, and then in your 3rd year, you have a qualifying exam, so a comprehensive exam on kind of everything that you've studied so far. And then hopefully once you pass that, you begin the dissertation process, and then you have the 4th year to kind of write your dissertation, and then you get a chance to defend the dissertation. So I'm excited. I'm a little anxious, but I know that I can do it. What I hope that this program will lead to is just more opportunities to become a leader. I do really want to make a positive impact in the community that I serve, or in any community that I might be in, and I know that getting this PhD in leadership will help to kind of broaden my voice and give me an opportunity to make some more positive impacts in communities. I hope that this PhD leads to more opportunities for me to possibly maybe teach a couple of courses or work for organizations who are making positive impacts. The concentration of this, like I said, is a business consulting concentration. So the idea would be that hopefully in the future that I would be, working in organizations, showing them, best practices and kind of better ways to do business, and how to be more, positive, how to make a greater impact. And so that's the thing that I'm most excited about, is just kind of what the future is going to hold. It really is uncertain, but I know that it's going to be good. I know it's going to be tough, and I will be updating you guys as much as I possibly can with what's going on and stuff. In the bottom of the link of the video, somewhere down here, I will leave a link to the website. If you guys ever thought about pursuing a PhD, I know it can be a little bit scary, but I fully recommend it, to give it a try, and kind of push yourself those kind of extremes. I think Northwest University is going to be a place that's going to support you. They do have a ton of other programs, so it's not just the leadership program that I'm doing. And within that leadership program, there is a couple of other concentrations, like there's a ministry one, there's an education one, there's a couple of other ones. You can go ahead and take a look for yourself. But yeah, I just wanted to really quickly just kind of address that. And I'm just going to ask for your guys' prayers, support and prayers. Sorry, I kind of like combined those two. I'm going to ask for your support and for prayers along the way. I know that it's going to be challenging, but I'm ready to take on the challenge. And feel free to ask any questions. I'll do my best to answer as many questions that you might possibly have. But yeah, thank you for taking the couple minutes to listen to a little bit of why I decided to pursue a PhD. And I hope that if someone sees this and you guys have thought about wanting to do a PhD or have questions about a PhD, I'm just starting, so I won't have all the answers for you, but I'd be willing to talk you through it, or kind of pick your brain on some stuff. So thank you.